Welcome to Black and Gold Today, brought to you by Ray Brandt Infiniti. I'm Rachel Whittaker. Thanks for closing out 2014 with us. Today, we welcome in studio Saints beat writer Evan Woodbery. Well, Evan, your first season in Saints country is complete. A disappointing one for the Black and Gold, but what's your biggest takeaway from the Saints so far from this season?
Well, you're right. It was certainly an interesting season, and I think for me the biggest takeaway was that in a lot of ways, this is still the same Saints team of old. People forget this was the #1 ranked offense. Drew Brees threw a few more interceptions than usual this year, but not an extraordinary amount more than his career average. The real difference between this year and last year was the defense, and the defense declined more rapidly and more dramatically than anybody could have expected. So I think that will be the real key going into next year, is how do they rebuild that? What decisions do they make, first of all, with the coaching staff, and then personnel-wise, where there are tons of questions remaining?
Right, most definitely. And Sean Payton was pretty silent about any of that, those changes that could come this offseason. But Drew Brees said he's confident they'll turn it around next year.
There's obviously things that need to be fixed. They will be fixed. Very confident in Sean's ability to kind of feel the pulse and exactly where the changes need to be made. And I'm not talking about from a personnel standpoint. I'm just talking about just in our approach and our preparation and every facet of what it takes to put together a winning environment and a winning team.
And 9-year veteran tackle Zach Strief added that the Saints Super Bowl team took years to build, and they have to remember that foundation.
I think more than anything, you talk about the little things. That's a cliche. That's a football cliche that rings true time and time again. And if you want to say where did we go wrong this year, we did some little things wrong early that set us down a path to not be successful. And obviously, as the year goes on, you look at some games and you say, well, that's not a little thing. We lost some games by large margins. That's not a little thing, and that's true. But that's all started and snowballed from early in the season, losing some close games in bad ways that we haven't been around here in the past.
We'll wrap up right after this.
Affordable luxury is here at the Ray Brandt Infiniti Pre-Owned Center. Over 100 of the world's finest luxury cars and trucks are on sale. Infiniti, Acura, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Lexus, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and more, all within reach. And special low luxury financing rates makes it easy to buy. Affordable luxury is here at Ray Brandt Infiniti of Metairie Pre-Owned Center, 3700 North Causeway Boulevard, Metairie.
Welcome back. Well, Evan, finding a #2 cornerback is a major priority for the Saints going forward, and they've experimented with people like Corey White and Terrence Frederick most recently, but they don't seem to be the future there at all. So what are your thoughts?
Well, it's interesting because the #2 quarterback is one of the big decisions of this offseason, and it was really one of the big decisions of last offseason as well. And they didn't find the right fit in training camp. Champ Bailey was a veteran they brought in, hoping he could fill the role. He didn't work out. There are a lot of what-ifs about that second cornerback spot in the 2014 season. But I think if you go into next year's secondary, you have Keenan Lewis, obviously, at one of the quarterback spots. You have Jarris Byrd coming back from injury at one of the safety spots. And you have a ton of safeties who could fill that #2 role. At the second cornerback, you really don't have those same bodies there. So I think they're going to have to address that either through the draft or free agency. And it's not always so easy to address it through the draft. Jean-Baptiste was a second-round pick, didn't play at all. Patrick Robinson was a first-round pick several years ago. So the draft isn't necessarily a foolproof solution. That's why I think we may see something through free agency with that second cornerback job.
Right, and Peyton said that Stanley Jean-Baptiste was kind of more of a developmental project, so he didn't see much playing time, preseason, and hardly any game action too. But defensive back Kenny Vaccaro said he did notice a difference in his second year here.
It was just a different vibe last year. Came in as a rookie, didn't know anybody. But that's gonna be for anybody though. Once you know people, you start to get a little comfortable. You know what I'm saying? When I got drafted, I knew what type of organization I was coming to. I knew it was what was expected of me before I got here. I knew I had to contribute early and I had to execute perfect.
Now, Evan, the Saints have a long offseason to figure things out and, of course, get under the salary cap. They have a little ways to go there, but that's a discussion for another day. Evan, thanks a lot. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And Happy New Year, everyone. See you soon.